it would seem it is the time for another sidetrack, because this archetype, the Holy Knight archetype, which made its debut in the Selection 10 just like Sun Avalons, is now technically an anime archetype because one of their cards is a retrain of an anime monster that was used in one duel by Keith Howard, which is the filler duel when he was under control of Merrick. And that monster is the level 7 vanilla dragon SEIYARYU. It's a level 7 light monster with 2500 attack. It's basically something you can run in this deck if you really want to, if you for some reason need some vanilla monsters or additional rank 7 targets, because this deck's best playstyle is rank 7 spamming. Also, it's a target for 7-star swords for draw power, and yeah, it's essentially debatable choice if you want to run it, because it's also searchable with stuff like Summoner's Art and other vanilla support cards. So yeah, it's including this card. This is a 10-card archetype, which focuses on summoning level 7 light dragons. So yeah, I guess you can run him if you really feel like it. Well, depending on the build, of course. Now let's move on to the archetype proper, starting with their first monster, Holy Knight RAYEL. This is a level 4 fairy with 1800 attack and 700 defense, and when this card is normal summon, you can add one Holy Knight spell or trap from your deck to your hand. You can manage this card from your graveyard to target one Holy Knight monster in your graveyard except Holy Knight RAYEL and special summon it. You can only use each effect of Holy Knight RAYEL once per turn. It's simply a 3-off because most of their back row spells primarily are basically variations of the archetypal E-Call, and not to mention the graveyard effect is an archetypal monster reborn, the only archetypal monster reborn, mind you. And yeah, this basically makes RAYEL a 3-off, and it's a nice level 4 beat stick, well, an okayish level 4 beat stick, so that's also a plus. Next up we have Holy Knight Astil. This one is a level 4 fairy with 500 attack and 2000 defense, and it has a quick effect that you can target a light monster you control and tribute it, and if you do, special summon a level 7 light dragon monster from your hand, and you can banish this card from your graveyard to target a level 7 light dragon monster you control, and it gains 1000 attack until the end of this turn, and until the end of the opponent's turns, and you can only use each effect once per turn. Well, essentially you can tribute this card in order to get a level 7 light dragon monster onto the field, which can be any level 7 light dragon monster, not only the archetypal ones. So Archbrave Dragon is also a nice choice to consider here. So yeah. Anyway, it also provides a decent attack boost, turning all your level 7 dragons into formidable beatsticks. So you can run a couple of them, but his stats are way too pathetic to be any more than a 2-off, so yeah. Next up we have their final level 4 monster, which is Holy Knight FLAMEL. This is another level 4, this one with 1500 attack and 1000 defense. And when an opponent's monster clears an attack, you can send this card from your hand to or field to the graveyard to special summon a level 7 dragon monster from your hand. And it also has a quick effect that you can banish this card from your graveyard to and then target a level 7 light dragon monster you control or in your graveyard and return it to the hand. And you can only use one Holy Knight FLAMEL effect per turn and only once per that turn. This one's a bit of an oddball because both of the previous ones you could use both of their effects on the same turn, while this one doesn't allow you to use both effects per turn, which I honestly find very weird, and that's why I don't think he's a hard enough staple. And yeah, why would you want to bounce back your light dragon monsters from the field into the hand? Well, your answer will come in the retrain of SEIYARYU, that being the Radiant SEIYARYU. This is their final main deck monster and the final monster in general. And if this card is normal or special summoned from the hand specifically, you can target one card on the field and destroy it. Cannot be destroyed by battle with a dark monster. Also, it cannot be destroyed by dark monster's effects. And once per turn at the start of the damage step, if this card attacks an opponent's monster, you can banish that opponent's monster until the end phase. Also, this card can make a second attack in a row. Yeah, this is essentially another 3-off due to the fact that it's also, again, a target for 7-star swords for draw power, and not to mention that its special summon effect from the hand, which the archetype really tries to hammer in with their first 3 monsters. essentially means you'll be able to pop a card on the field, and it's basically the only reason why FLAMEL can bounce stuff back from the hand. But it also works on any, like I said, level 7 light dragon monster, so you can use it on stuff like Arcbraid Dragon or some Filgrand monsters. So yeah, it's a definite 3-off staple in the deck. Now we move on to their back row, and we start off with their field spell Holy Night Sky. During your main phase, you can normal summon one Holy Night monster or one level 7 light dragon monster in addition to your normal summoner set, and you can only gain this effect once per turn. And then during your turn, if a face-up level 7 light dragon monster you control returns to your hand, you can draw one card. You can only use this effect of Holy Night Sky once per turn. It's basically an archetypal field spell, and combined with Valhalla, which is very welcome in this deck due to the fact that they're all fairy type monsters, you'll always be able to basically pop a card on the field because, well, if you special summon a fairy monster with Valhalla's effect, then you normal summon a fairy monster, and then you normal summon again with the field spell's effect. This basically equals an instant Radiant SEIYARYU and one pop effect per turn. And not to mention the draw effect is actually pretty neat if you manage to bounce back a level 7 light dragon monster. It's honestly a damn shame that this does not work from the graveyard or the banished zone, because I would have thought it would be a much better card if it worked like that. But with Terraforming Limited and also Metaverse Limited, I guess you can run 3 of these with one of each of what I mentioned before. And also 3 Valhalla and 3 Hecatrices should be pretty nice. Now we move on to Holy Night BELLFIRE. Add one Holy Night monster or one level 7 light dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Then if your opponent controls a dark monster and you control no monsters, you can special summon a light dragon monster from your hand, and you can only use one Holy Night BELLFIRE per turn. Okay, so first of all, it's an archetypal e-call that basically searches out any member of the archetype, including any level 7 light dragon monster, which is absolutely really nice. Then if your opponent happens to be controlling a dark monster, which is actually something that is not too hard to pull off, you get to special summon any light dragon monster regardless of level and regardless of archetype. So yeah, it's essentially a very nice way to make you plus if you of course don't control any monsters. So yeah, 3-off staple, and you shouldn't run any less than that. And now we have their final spell card, which is Holy Night Nativity. It's a continuous spell that says during your main phase you can reveal one light fairy monster in your hand, and if you do, add one level 7 light dragon monster from your deck to your hand, then place the revealed monster on the bottom of the deck. If your opponent activates a card or effect, you can special summon one level 7 light dragon monster from your hand, and you can only use one Holy Night Nativity effect that turn, and only once that turn. So essentially another flavor of an archetypal e-call, except it only searches out level 7 light dragon monster, which is again a very nice pool of monsters, including the archetypal Radiant SEIYARYU, which is always nice. Sucks that you can only use one of the effects per turn, but still, this is far from a bad card, so run 2 or 3 of these. And now we move on to their trap cards, first of which we have Holy Night Advent. It's a continuous trap that says during your main phase you can activate one of these effects. Target one level 7 light dragon monster you control and return it to the hand, or special summon a level 7 light dragon monster from your hand, and you can only use this effect once per turn. I'm very puzzled with this one because it does not allow you to use both of these effects in the same turn. If it was like an archetypal Beast Soul swap where it let you bounce back a level 7 light dragon monster you control to special summon a level 7 light dragon monster like instantly, I would have called it a very good card and kind of worth running, because you can use this to basically bounce back your Radiant SEIYARYU and then resummon him to pop a card on the field, but sadly that is not how the card works, which makes it a niche choice to consider running, so 1 or 2 of these are perfectly fine now. And the last card is Holy Night Blast, which is a normal trap that says when your opponent activates a card or effect, return a level 7 light dragon monster you control to the hand, negate that effect, and if you do, destroy that card, and you can only activate one of these per turn. Simply put, it's an archetypal Omni-Negate, therefore you run 3 of them, as it also triggers the effects of Radiant Seiryu when you bounce him back, and then you resummon him later in order to pop another card on the field. So yeah, run 3. And now we come to the grading scale. In terms of consistency, I will give them a solid 2 out of 3 due to the fact that their own archetypal consistency is okayish, but the generic fairy type support does not do much in terms of boosting it further up. So yeah, power gets another 2 out of 3 due to its only relevant output being Radiant Seiyaryu within the archetype, and whatever rank 7 monsters which that you can make within this deck, such as number 11 Big Eye, Dracossack, or Galaxy Tomahawk if it ever comes off the list, or Red Eye's Flare Metal Dragon if you want to be legal. So yeah. Comeback ability gains a complete 1 out of 3 due to the fact that it only relies on a very coherent hand or graveyard setup, which is not a most viable matchup, since the archetype only has 1 monster reborn in form of a monster with a graveyard effect, so top decking Foolish Burial is one of their only niche ways they can come back from a beatdown, which is definitely a minus. Protection is completely non-existent, so it also gets a 1 out of 3, but in terms of versatility, I will give them a solid 2 out of 3 due to the fact that they're all fairy type monsters, all of course with the Seiyaryu lineup excluded. So they have access to Valhalla, Hecatrice, and of course Archlord Christia, which is always a plus in my book. And that was the Holy Night archetype. Yeah, it's a very short 10-card archetype. I should have reviewed it further, but I wanted to confirm with the Wikia if the Radiant Seiyaryu is actually a retrain of the original Seiyaryu, and if the original Seiyaryu is treated as the member of the archetype, and if it's not like something like Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon, or the original Red Eye Zombie Dragon, or Malefic Red Eyes Black Dragon, or something like that. It wasn't that case, so this archetype turned out to be eligible for review. Alright, enough time wasted. Next time we'll be continuing on with the Rada Marathon with another GX era archetype. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for more videos and updates. Comment, like, and subscribe. Be sure to check out my Patreon when you got the time. Maybe drop a few donations if you feel like it. And I'll upload the next video whenever I can. And I'll see you all and have a good day. Peace.